everybody, and welcome to the Social Monkey. This is number 8, and we are looking at a fantastic summer ahead, isn't it? It's looking great. I'm really looking forward to what's going to be happening over the course of the next few months. Well, the Spaniards have got it off to a cracking start, haven't they? 5,000 people in Barcelona all going to a rock concert, masked, pre-screened, and ready to go. Bang! And that's what we're hoping Boris is going to be doing over the course of the next few months. As you can see, not too much has gone on in the background just yet, but there will be. There will be. I need confirmation that stuff's going to be moving forward before I start spending more money on equipment and bits and pieces. So I'm going to carry on doing it like this for now. So with the 5,000 people out in Spain, or Catalonia, Barcelona, which way you want to look at it, those guys have come ahead of the curve, haven't they, really? If we can get anywhere near that over the course of the next few months, it would be absolutely fantastic. There's so many people in the music industry that are itching to get out there, perform, show their artistic work, and no one's looking forward to it more than me. YouTube can only offer you so much musical insight, can't it, until you're actually there live watching something in front of you. You can feel the music actually being there. So hopefully Reading and Leeds will go ahead nicely. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you guys over there can get it going. And I've already booked up to go to the Oktoberfest in Priory Park in Southend. Can't wait for that. 10 people, one table, getting served all day long. Beers, breakfast, and boobies. Oh, yes, can't wait. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. The wife's going to be with me anyway, so I think I'm going to have to wear some dark glasses just in case. Yes. Anyway, the country's half vaccinated. We've done really well there. It's not often that we can praise the politicians for doing the right stuff. But let's be honest, if the politicians can get us half vaccinated and nearly to the point where we can all get out of this bleeding prison that we're all in, it'd be brilliant. The pubs, the clubs, the restaurants, retailers all need to get open. And let's hope and pray that the government pull their coin purse out of their trousers and actually get it fucking done. We're so in desperation as a nation to get back up and running. The school leavers, the GCSEs, the A levels, university students, they're all being held back, and we really do need going forward a clear and concise plan about where our kids are going to be going. It is really, really disconcerting to find out that there's certain schools that are doing different things. There's certain schools that are doing things that they shouldn't be. The school that I'm currently involved with relating to my own children, they're doing a great job. I can't complain, but I'm sure there's other people that will probably disagree with me. And the kids are having to wear masks at school all day. That's not easy, but the kids are out of the house. So if you're working from home, then fantastic. It's all working quite well. But if you've got 3, 4, 5 kids, then the kids being back at school is a fucking godsend for all of you, isn't it, really? It's got to be tough. I mean, for me, it's a lot easier, but as a key worker, being out and about, knowing that I've got someone here for when the kids come home from school, that is just perfect, absolutely perfect. With the schools being opened, there is a problem, isn't there, emerging from the schools and from the universities about how many people are being shut down for certain views. In relation to the chap that got a crowd gathered around him about the religious aspects of the depiction of Muhammad. I'm not Muslim, so I've got no right to say, question, or anything relating to that. Clearly, it was caused an outrage. Clearly, the teacher thought that it was worth sharing. So it's a conflict of interest there. It's not something that I would really want to comment on because I've got no knowledge of it. I don't know anything about the Quran or the Muslim faith. Religion doesn't interest me one way, shape or form. I was pushed into Christianity as a kid. Didn't really wash with me. I had too many questions, and religion doesn't like questions, especially if it goes against their doctrine. So I'd rather stay out of that. But then you've also got the craziness that's going on in Bristol. You know, what they're doing to police forces. Yes, the police officer that murdered that poor girl, obviously he's going to be held accountable. Obviously he's going to be put in massive media light. And I think that the way it's been twisted, I think the media are a bit complacent in the way that this has been handled. I think that they've pushed more towards protecting the protesters rather than protecting the police. one police officer out of a whole constabulary across the country doesn't represent the police. It's the same what happened with George Floyd. The police don't represent one man or one woman's reckless behaviour, sick behaviour, dirty behaviour. Doesn't represent them. So I don't agree with the way that that was handled. On both sides, the vigil as well, the police officers acted incorrectly as far as I'm concerned. They had the right to be there, but they didn't have the right to act the way they did. But then in turn in Bristol, this is what happens when the public turn and young people turn, and people who get involved in these marches and these protests that then stir it up even more. It don't do the country any favours, because you look upon it in disgust, because people were injured, people nearly died. Um, and we are one race of people because of our colour, creed, gender, sexuality, religion. All of it is irrelevant. All of it, because we're one human race that need to look after each other. If this pandemic's not taught us fucking anything, yeah, is that we need to come together as a human race rather than be put into groups and put into these different sections, because then all that does is just put you all against each other once again. You all hate this lot, you all hate that lot. We thought it was bad enough with the football, didn't we? Man United, Liverpool, West Ham, Tottenham. It's pretty much the same with the religions and the genders and everything else that's involved. It's just basically football put into different groups within a social aspect. It's gone absolutely crazy, and everybody that looked upon football hooliganism back in the day we've discussed. Now look at the way that people have grouped themselves up, all through social media, all through these different groups and blogs and bits and pieces that people get involved in. You're all damaging yourselves. You're all fighting against this. You're all fighting for the same thing. But the problem is you're too blind to see that we're all part of the same race, human. Do I need to say much more than that? Really, I don't. Do I? Because it don't matter if you're black, don't matter if you're white, don't matter if you're Asian, don't matter if you don't matter if you're a dog. It don't fucking matter. We all need to pull together as a human race rather than keep separating ourselves into different groups. It's ridiculous. It really is. So while I've been off, not doing too much in relation to podcasting, I actually have been encouraging my wife to get out and about, and she proved me wholeheartedly wrong. She was like, well, fuck you, I'm going to go and do something worthwhile. And she did. My wife actually done a massive thing for a local charity called, not local charity, national charity called Dementia UK. Now, she's actually walked so many miles to actually earn money for the charity. I think she's raised over a few £100 now to put towards Dementia UK. And these guys are obviously doing a fantastic job by helping local communities and local people that need assistance relating to their relatives or loved ones that have dementia. Now, I've worked in certain aspects around my family with someone with dementia. It's very hard. It's very heartbreaking. And it can put a terrible strain on any family's well-being. No matter how much you think you can put certain safeguards in place, there's always something that can come a cropper and literally just tear everything down. And it's so heartbreaking to watch someone you love deteriorate into nothingness. So what these guys at Dementia UK are doing, if you can go onto their website, go on Facebook, have a look at what the work that they're doing, we couldn't be more than happy to try and donate as much money as we possibly can. So if anyone else out there who's watching this video has somebody in their family or loved one that has dementia, please go over to their website, donate, offer something if you can. You know, being a middle-aged man now, you don't really think of charity back in the day. You're thinking of yourself, but when you have an impact that's on you as severe as this, you sort of realise that those few pounds that you do donate make a massive difference. So please, everybody, if you do have someone with dementia and you want to give your money to a decent cause that's trying to help people in these situations, then get yourself over to their Dementia UK. They also gave, because my wife's doing it with the dog, the devil dog. Anyway, she's got a nice little collar, goes around her lead, flapping about. She's also got an Instagram page. She's got more followers than I have. I hate the dog, not for that reason. I just hate the dog. Anyway, that's not a nice thing to say, but I do not like the dog that my wife purchased. Oh dear. So on a funnier note, uh, we've seen that pollution is now making men's penises smaller. Don't believe me? Have a look at the news article on Sky. Sky News. They come out with some crackers, but would you believe it? Pollution is making men's penises smaller. So those of you that have got high functioning motor vehicles that pump out plenty of gas, the old chopper is getting a bit smaller. Perhaps you need to trade in for a chopper. There you go. Keep the old boy's length going. Apparently, according to this news article, the amount of pollution is now making a genetic difference to male penises. So, no doubt in a few years, when plants start dying, vaginas are going to get smaller as well. Who knows? But I thought it was a ridiculous article to put up. Absolutely madness. Anyone believes that, you're crazy. But who am I to say? I'm no scientist. This geezer might be right, or whatever they want to be called. Yes. So, as you might have been seeing on Facebook, if you've been following me, I've been putting my Football Manager videos up. Bit of a bugbearer because the music that I put in behind the actual highlights keeps getting taken down because I don't have the permission to use it. Annoying, I know. So anyone out there who's got some DJ mixes that they want to chuck over to me, they've got their music promoted through my little venture, because even though it's just highlights and it's a game, I am taking this pretty seriously. So a friend of mine, he's a very good man, he's given me this. Only to borrow. But he says he's lost faith in it because he's dropped it a couple of times and other people have as well. So here it is. Exact replica of the World Cup trophy. Look at that bad boy, eh? If only England could pick this fucking thing up. No chance. But anyway, I've got multiple people from different corners of the globe who I work with, and they've decided to obviously get involved in this tournament that I'm doing through Football Manager 21. Now, the winner will get to hold aloft this sexy trophy, as well as their cash prize that everyone's put in. And it's literally an 8-horse race. There could be 8 different teams in with a chance to hold that prestigious trophy. Oh, yes. So I am trying to make it as fun as possible for everybody, because Football Manager, if you've played it, it can be quite boring to the people that don't find it interesting. But I'm trying to make good of it as best as I can. Everybody's got a separate team. No one's got the same player. There's some funny names in there. You can call your team what you like. And we're also looking for other teams to get involved for the next season, because we're halfway through this one. So if you are interested in getting involved in the draft, getting involved in picking your players, then feel free to get in touch, and I'll get you added on to the league as well. But be warned, it is competitive, and you could end up with players that you didn't even want, because no one can have the same player. So it's lots of fun. Everyone's getting involved. WhatsApp group, banter, and everything else. So yeah, feel free to get in touch if you want to get involved in that. I'll also be looking to do more videos in relation to gaming once I've got more of a setup that supports it. Let's put it that way. So in relation to music, we've got more updates from Street Sounds Radio. Those guys are coming on leaps and bounds. I've got to say, they've got so much music going on at the moment with so many different DJs from back in the day up until present day. There's a plethora of talented DJs across Street Sounds Radio. I've no affiliation with them whatsoever. I know one of the DJs there, Reese Collins. He's on most mornings from 7 till 10, and he gets me up for most mornings. Done a massive shout out for my wife for her birthday as well. Another man that's an inspiration to me. He's always trying to get me to do better things technologically with my podcast, but it's a money constraint at the end of the day. I can only do so much. But he's given me tips on how I can improve the podcast, on how I can improve my demeanour across platforms as well. So get yourselves over to Street Sounds Radio. Make sure you listen in, tune in. There's some absolutely fantastic DJs that will get you up for any day of the week. If it's Monday morning and you're feeling like, oh, I can't be fucking bothered, stick Street Sounds Radio on and your arse will be wiggling in no time. Arse wiggling, face smiling, and who doesn't want that on a Monday morning? So yes, get yourselves over to that radio station. Those guys are going to be blowing up, and they're consistently on the rise. always the amount of views and listeners that they're getting to, and you can understand why if you tune in. Universal Vinyls have done a fantastic job by getting some of my clothing apparel out there at the moment. Massive props to those guys. As you can see, I've got one of them on now. A few more people have been putting pictures up on the Facebook page, which is promising, which is good. A lot of people have been happy with the product. Comfy, nice houseware I can put it down to. So if it's like loungewear. You're indoors. You're not going out anywhere. You want something nice to put on. Nice hoodie, nice t-shirt. It's all good. It really is. It really, really is. And I haven't had any negative feedback yet. People like to put across, oh yeah, I bet it's just some cheap shit. It's actually made really well, and the quality is nice. Amount of washes this jumper's been through. It's been to work with me, and it's still clean. And we've still got the pictures. Oh, wrong arm. Here it is. There you go. That's still all on there. So I couldn't praise Universal Vinyls enough. Those guys have done absolutely fantastic work for me, and also helping me set up my business as well, giving me tips and ideas of what I need to be doing. It's so much better. That's what I was saying about as a race, being a community, being one as a people, rather than being segregated into different groups. Even though these guys are good friends of mine, they could have gone, yeah, we'll do that for you and charge me full price, or do this or do that. By everybody working together, we can all get something from one another, whether it's promotion, whether it's a discount, whether it's this, whether it's that. It can be so many different things, and that's why YouTube and Facebook are massive platforms for people like me to get stuff off the ground. So massive props to Universal Vinyls again. Their logo's changed. I would encourage everybody to get over to those guys to order their stuff instead of coming through me, because it is difficult. Oh dear, I saw this the other day. This just made me chuckle. Absolutely ridiculous. We're losing the freedom of speech in this country, aren't we? It's gone a bit mad, isn't it? You've got to be careful what you say in relation to anybody now. You tarnish one group, you get cancelled. You tarnish this group, you get cancelled. If there's a legitimate reason to criticise something, we need to be able to say it, regardless of whose group it is, or what political aspect that they are, or what TV show they're on, or doesn't matter. If there's a legitimate reason for someone to be criticised and someone to point something out, then we need to say it. We're not a cotton wool. We're not a cotton wool race. We can't be wrapped up consistently. Oh, did they say something nasty about you? Oh, that nasty man. Pat on the back. We all need to grow a pair of bollocks, gather some respect for each other, being able to take criticism. The amount of criticism I've fucking taken, I'm thick as shit, and I've done so many different jobs over the years. When you don't know what you're doing, especially as a younger person, how about take it on the chin, listen to what you've been told, and rather than stropping off and fucking doing stupid stuff, listen to what you're supposed to be doing. It's madness. If you can't criticise somebody for something that they've done wrong or said incorrectly, then where are we going to go as a race? Oh no, you're not allowed to say that. No, can't say that to them. Can't say that to them. Why? Why can't things be questioned? Why can't people ask these questions anymore? There's no legitimate reason other than these groups are getting offended. I've been offended for most of my life. Doesn't mean that I should demand people to treat me in a certain way. I've got no right to do that. No group has got a right to do that at all. We all need to work together rather than working as separated, because that's what they do. They separate you here, separate you there. They come together and they fight. There's so many different groups now that no one knows what side they're fucking on. Madness, absolutely madness. I don't know. And going back to groups and bits and pieces, fucking Harry and Meghan was an absolute shit show, wasn't it? Oh my God. What are they doing? What are they doing? I've watched so much media coverage over these two over the last couple of weeks, and it baffles me that you can sit in a multi-million-pound place in California when you look down the road at Skid Row in California, Those people are impoverished. Those people are being forgotten. Those people have probably got mental health issues. Those people ain't got no fucking money. And you're sitting in a multi-million-pound house moaning that you didn't get nothing from the UK royalty. Oh, come on. Harry knows better than that. I don't know what she's playing at. I've got nothing against her. I don't know who she is. She's some bird on suits or something from what I've seen. Married already, God knows how many times. Managed to bag herself a prince. And I think that the social justice warrior thing, it's gone so far out of control. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, she's a woman of colour. She's married into an institution. Somebody's mentioned, oh, what colour's the baby going to be? Somebody of that nature is going to take offence to that, regardless of what way you word it. I don't think that whoever said it, it doesn't matter. You know, that's. I think that would be a legitimate question, but has been switched and turned in the wrong way. It's very possible because there is a possibility that Prince Philip, 99 years of age, probably racist to a certain degree because of his generation, the way he speaks. Oh, how dark's the baby going to be then? Because Meghan's quite light skinned for a woman of colour. She's not what I would say would be black, but she obviously comes from black heritage. So there is a chance the baby could be black. Is that not a legitimate question? Or is just saying the word, what colour is the baby going to be, just offensive outright? Who knows? I'm from Spanish heritage. What's to say that my kids don't all come out brown when I'm white as a ghost? What's to say that? What colour? Potentially, our kids could be really olive-skinned, but I've got a blonde wife and I'm pale as you like. But there's every opportunity of that genetically. But when it's put across as a question or as a detailed answer, like they did on that interview, I heard they wanted to know what colour the baby was. Of course, that's going to sound ridiculous and racist, isn't it? And then it was tailored and doctored, and I just don't think that people can sympathise with multimillionaires in that way. And anyone with mental health, you know, they need help, and it shouldn't be sniffed at and it shouldn't be ignored, not one way, shape, or form. I don't see how her mental health would have been diminished in any way, being in a multi-million-pound institution, being a millionaire already, having aides and helpers all the way around where they were living. I honestly, I can't fathom it, how their life was so bad. Harry said that he's trapped. He's not really, because he's not in succession for the throne. So I don't see how he's trapped, and he's not, because he's come away from it now, hasn't he? But it's a royal institution. Clearly, he didn't want to be part of it, or has there been an ulterior motive? Is there something more behind this? We don't know. But I do know the British public don't really give two hoots about how hard they've got it. When you've got people living on the streets, you've got people in severe poverty, you've got kids that aren't even eating. The Marcus Rashford thing was another one, wasn't it? All that shit that them kids got sent. Poor old Marcus doing his bit. You know, those people are poor and impoverished and have mental health issues. Not you two. Come on. Let's get a little bit real here. You know, the celebrity is starting to die out now. People are getting bored of it. I think the Kardashians have done the right thing by removing their TV show. I think that people know, yeah, you've got all the money, you've got the looks, you've got this, you've got that. Yeah, we've seen enough. I think that we all need to take a step back from the celebrity reality TV show sort of stuff and get back to what's real priorities of the world and real priorities of family, rather than how you look and where you're from and what group you're in or what political party you're in. Or there's too much. It really is too much. So, after my little rant, I think that's going to be me. I'm not going to go on for too much longer. Last little bit of my podcast today is going to be based around a news article that I saw today, which I thought was quite important. Now, the New York federal government is now legalising cannabis. New York used to be so stringent on anyone holding cannabis. And I've got to say, they've turned the corner. I forget the chap's name. I think it's Andrew Cuomo. I think the governor of New York. He's finally got it agreed. So the legalisation is going to be imminent over in New York. So hopefully, fingers crossed for those guys in in New York, they're actually going to get what they want. Um, the other article that was mixed in with that was from Mixmag, no pun intended. Mixmag also put in that there's two government officials from the UK that have actually gone over to Canada, part of the British Commonwealth, luckily enough, to see how their legislation in relation to cannabis legalisation is. And it looks quite promising because even the government officials have actually said that they think that cannabis legalisation could be done within the decade. So that could be done by 2020. Because when they say a decade, I don't think it would be any later than that. It can't be. It really, really can't be. We're in 2021 now, so it'll be 2030. Sorry, getting me. See, I don't even know what fucking year it is. Look, my brain's gone. So 2030, they reckon that cannabis is going to be legalised. It's got to come sooner. It really has. You've got to look at the beneficial aspects of the taxation of it. I think that giving licence to farmers to grow it in mass production is a no-brainer. I think making the legal age of consumption is 21 is a no-brainer. Taking the dealers off the streets relating to cannabis so the police can actually concentrate on dealing with heroin, crack cocaine and horrible shit like that, rather than worrying about some young lad who's got half ounce in his pocket. You know, if we can take the drugs out of the kids' hands and we can put it in a taxation and legal way, then this country's going to benefit massively. And that's a promise. And people might disagree with me saying, oh, it's bad, it's just another drug. It's not. There's lots of benefits that outweigh the negatives when it comes to cannabis. And I sincerely hope that this mission that these guys that have taken from the UK government have actually looked at the legislation in Canada, are looking at the legislation in America and seeing the profit that can be made for a country to be able to do this. You've got the introduction of tax, you've got the introduction of immigration through people that are going to be potentially working on the farms. You've also got the tourist aspect of things that obviously people from around the world are going to be coming here. We promote ourselves as being one of the best farming nations in the world, and why not put it to the test? Even looking at reducing the strength of the THC content within the actual cannabis wouldn't be a bad idea. I think that having a certain mix between CBD and THC would probably be beneficial, especially for the sale and market on common sales of the stuff. So that is really promising. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, within the next decade, by 2030, we can have legalisation of cannabis. We can't be too far behind. We really can't be. What's going to be happening with me until I've got a few more quid in my pocket and I've got a few more days where I can get out and about? Not much is going to change, unfortunately. A bit like the Joe Biden presidency. I'm even talking like him now, and nothing much is going to change. We've got loads of guests and loads of ideas that are all floating about at the minute, but it's just it's a task that can't be done. So I want you all to look after yourselves. I want you all to take care of yourselves, and I really, really want to hopefully see you all soon. If you're not going to Oktoberfest in October, get yourself over to the website, get yourself some tickets. It's going to be a cracking day. Those guys look like they've set up a good little festival over there, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it. So, love you all. Take care. Good night.